So I just got back from the theater and saw Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. I don't have a stutter. This is the sequel to the 1988 Tim Burton, Michael Keaton, Gina Davis, Winona Ryder, I was going to say Alan J. Pakula. He's got nothing to do with it. Alec Baldwin film, and I'm probably leaving people out. Jeffrey Jones, Catherine O'Hara, and probably more. The classic spooky comedy from the late 80s has returned in a new form to theaters. Once again, with most of the principal cast coming back, you've got your Winona Ryder. You've got your Catherine O'Hara. You've got your Michael Keaton. You've got your Jeffrey Jones, sort of, but not quite. So everybody's back, and what's it about? I'm not going to tell you much about what this is about, but basically, everybody's back. So it's 30-something years later. Winona Ryder, her character is still spooky. She sees ghosts, and she's parlayed that into a TV talk show. Think of Crossing Over with John Edward crossed with Fear Factor. And she has a young, sullen daughter whose father has passed away before his time, and they all go back home to attend the funeral of Winona Ryder's father, Catherine O'Hara's husband, the Jeffrey Jones character from the original film, and all kinds of familial complications arise, and somebody has to go and say Beetlejuice's name 3 times, and the ghost with the most is back. The juice is loose, as they say. So here's the deal for me. I had seen Beetlejuice not in the theater, and I don't remember why I didn't see it in the theater, because this was an era that I was going to see pretty much everything in the theater, but I didn't see it in the theater. I eventually caught up with it on video, and I liked it. I thought it was fun and funny, but I was never like huge into Beetlejuice, and I don't know why. I like spooky stuff. I like Tim Burton, but it was never one that I was crazy connected to, so I don't know all the lines. I've seen it probably maybe 3 times in my life, and it's a fun flick. So when I heard the new Beetlejuice was being made, I'm never excited about these 30 years later sequels because they always feel like a cash grab, and they tend to just be, hey, remember that part from the original? Hey, look, we're doing this thing again, but we're doing it a little bit different. Hey, remember that part? And that was what I was afraid of going into Beetlejuice, was that it was just going to be a greatest hits, and what's the point? I'm happy to report that it did not play that way for me. Now, again, I don't know the original so well that I would pick up necessarily on every little thing that it does that the original did, that the new film does that the original did, but it was funny. It was creepy, fabulous production design. You go back to that world of the dead that we saw in the original Beetlejuice a lot. You get some of the characters you remember from the original, some new ones. You get Monica Bellucci as Beetlejuice's jilted ex-fiance or ex-wife, basically. You get a lot of Catherine O'Hara being very funny. Everybody in this movie is really good. You don't get as much Beetlejuice as I expected, which is unfortunate because Michael Keaton's great as this character and clearly is having fun playing the character. You don't really get that much of Monica Bellucci, unfortunately. She gets a great introductory scene, and then for the rest of the movie, she just kind of shows up here and there in the underworld and says, "Where's Beetlejuice?" And that's pretty much it until near the end. That's a shame because she's great, and you almost could have taken her out of the story entirely, and the movie really wouldn't have hurt. There's a couple characters that I think you might have been able to lose, and it really wouldn't have hurt the movie that much. But everybody in the movie is good, and the visuals and the effects are really great, and we get a good amount of practical effects, and some effects that, if they're not stop motion, they look stop motion, and that's really cool. You get copious Mario Bava references, visually, stylistically, and by name in this film. Burton's a huge Bava fan. I'm a big Bava fan, so there's a sequence toward the beginning of the film, and I'm just like, this is essentially Black Sunday, and this is fantastic. A major Hollywood franchise movie for families and mainstream audiences is kind of hard referencing Bava, and this is great. And not as funny as I would have thought. Not unfunny. It's a bit more serious here and there. It's a bit more heartfelt here and there. When it tries to be funny, it is for the most part. I expected that we would, again, I think it's not as funny as I thought because we don't get as much Beetlejuice as I expected we would get, but I liked this movie. I went in thinking it wasn't probably going to be very good, but I ended this movie thinking, I really hope they make another one of these. I really hope we get at least one more because everybody clearly is here to play and having fun, and why not? Why not go to this while everybody's kind of in the right mood? Why don't we go and do this again? So I really enjoyed Beetlejuice. It was creepy. It was gross. It was dark. and it was a lot of fun. So I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. If you're a fan of the original, let me know what you thought of this, because I kind of wanted to watch the original this week before I went to see this, to have it fresh in my head to be able to make that comparison, but I didn't. So I'm representing the audience members who kind of remember the movie, maybe don't remember the movie. If you've never seen the original, it'll still be fun, and they do a pretty good job of explaining everything to you what you've missed. This is for the benefit of those of you who've tuned in late. But if you're Joe like me, who remembered it fondly and wanted to see what the new one has to offer, it's got a lot of fun to offer. So your mileage may vary, but I dug it. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, in theaters now.